Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next race in the Zelda 1 Randomizer 2022 All Boards, No Swords Redux Tournament. Today we have a match between Malchior and CaffyJD in the 0 and 1 pool. I am Alsoa, and I am joined by Potato Pony.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thrilled to be with you today. It's going to be a great match between two of the Z1R fantastic racers who both had some tough luck in the first round, but I expect to put up quite a battle today. So what are you expecting to see today, Alsoa?
I want to see level 9 Double Dip required.
So how are we going to make that happen, given the flags that we have at our disposal?
Well, the ladder of 9 is the easiest way to do it, because you put the ladder of 9 and then you ladder block an item in like level 2. And that forces a double dip. Another option is, even though the runners will start with 3 Triforce pieces, you don't necessarily have access into those dungeons. So you could put the Power Bracelet in level 9, which can lead to kind of an interesting situation where you end up triple dipping 9. Ergo, Power Bracelet in 9, Power Bracelet to get your wand, go back to 9 with your wand to get the bow, and then take that back to another level to get your silvers off of Agoma.
I think you've got a book you should be writing here, Alsoa. In the meantime, we're getting started with the start spot over in the forest, and Malchior is going to start checking the Armo spots around there.
And we do have the red candle will be the white sword item. That is one of the benefits or things involving this flag set for the Swiss rounds only. And it looks like we have 1, 3, and 7.
For anybody joining us who hasn't seen one of the races in this swordless tournament so far, the flags are swordless, so our racers will need the wand ultimately to kill Ganon once they get that far. And we're dealing with a first quest overworld, shapes dungeons, second quest room, so lots of push blocks. And to make Alsoa's wishes of a triple dip possible, we've got important items can be in level 9. In addition to, as Alsoa said, our runners are starting with 3 Triforces, and the red candle is forced into the white sword cave.
And with the starting Triforces of 1, 3, and 7, that's not bad if you get a recorder early, like that. So that's going to allow the runners to immediately go to levels 1, 3, and 7's locations, and if they can get in, then those become dungeons that they can dig without much concern. Oh, look at that med secret. It's tiny.
So finding a recorder really early, how quickly are you going to want to go check and see where 1 and 3 especially are?
Honestly, I'm probably going to do it about now, like how Malchior's doing it. At least get the knowledge of the locations, even if I don't go into the level. Of course, 1 and 3 are on Death Mountain.
Blocked levels.
So we have Caffy continuing to check the northeast, finds a level 7, as Malchior is about to be there himself.
That's one way to get back to the northeast.
Yeah, just put the level at the spot where you want to be. Malchior's going to try to sneak in here. Does sneak in. Caffy's checking the 7 with nothing.
Yeah, there's only, 35 rooms or somewhere in that ballpark to see what he can find. Got a free compass. Whoa, look at how far over that Triforce is.
This is probably a very wide 7, but it may not be the tallest. And the bomb price is as much as the mid-secret, but Malchior will go ahead and pick up a pack.
Going to save right there. In their first round matches, I didn't watch them myself, but just from taking a look at them, Malchior had a decently long race against Adginos, whereas Caffy had a seed that flew by against Roost Slugs, and so I wonder if that's going to impact how the two runners approach the race today in terms of Malchior maybe taking more steps to save and preserve his bombs and other resources, with potentially Caffy being more aggressive. We'll see.
We do have a heart on the coast, which is a little bit not exciting. Speaking of hearts, Malchior's going to get a heart in a Take Any Cave. You'll notice that there are no additional candles in the Take Any caves. That is due to the fact that in Swordless, the wood candle is replaced by the blue sword. The wood sword is replaced by the blue candle, and therefore it is expected that you'll either get your candle there or by buying one if the opportunity to buy one presents itself sooner. Caffy trying to damage boost off of the Zal Fireball, but instead gets hit by the blue Dark Nut and is not able to make it into the White Sword Cave. So this is pretty normal in the early game. You're going to see the runners really try to make their way around. They will likely be looking for swords. And by swords, I mean blue candles. They will also be... sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, they're unlikely to find the swords.
Yeah, there's a bunch of swords on Caffy's screen.
That's true. Caffy succeeded. He found many swords.
And they're also going to be looking for if they can get the red sword candle. The red candle out of the white... Wow, I can't word today. The red candle out of the White Sword Cave without needing to get an item to satisfy an overworld block, because Forced Overworld Blocks is not on yet.
Caffy's now going to find out where that 1 and 3 are both unblocked up on Death Mountain.
You know what's kind of fun?
What's kind of fun, Elsoa?
Allow overworld blocks so the wood sword is on, so their blue candle could very well be at Recorder Lake.
I love it.
Malchior is going to elect to open up the door to level 1. It's very purple.
Oh, that could be a fun room there. Could be a potential item room with those blue whiz robes.
That's going to be like Red Ring.
The level 1 not giving up its secrets very easily.
I expect level 3 is next on the list.
Whereas Caffy is heading towards central Hyrule to check out some of the open caves here in hopes of finding his blue candle. And some bombs.
And this is a very interesting strategy divergence, as the money in this seed is not good at all.
Ooh, 64. That is not what you want to see from a large secret.
So we're seeing Malchior's putting a little bit more stock on going into the dungeons and trying to get some items out of there, whereas Caffy's putting some more stock on overworld exploration and trying to find that red candle cave. What's really scary to me looking at the tournament as a whole is one of these two guys is going to come out of this race in the 0 and 2 pool.
I mean, we got one of these two is going to be 0 and 2 coming out of, was it yesterday's race? You've got Saver who's 0 and 2. There's no hiding in this tournament given the quality of the competition.
Yeah, this is one of those tournaments where no matter what, you are going to be... You're just going to have to play well. Like, there's just no getting around it. Caffy's going to head towards Death Armos, as it's colloquially known. And Malchior's trying to set up some bomb kills on some ropes here. Only gets 1, though. But, oh, Caffy finds the red candle, but he does not have enough hearts to pick it up just yet.
Still, probably a relief to know where it is, but Caffy hasn't even gotten that 1 heart container that Malchior was able to get because he has not yet gotten those bombs. I think Caffy did see a bomb shop, though, so I wonder if at some point he's going to... I think it was southeast of the starting screen, so I wonder if at some point he's going to head there and just buy the bombs. And
I think his only hesitation on buying bombs would be that he probably wants to see where the candle is first, and a segmented 3 is going to kick Malchior out of 3, and he's probably very not happy to see that it's segmented. Hey, there's a heart container.
Yeah, that's not a bad find under Recorder Lake. So is he going to go right back and try that 33% chance of picking up the red candle?
I think you have to.
Ooh, Lionel's have something to say about that.
Yeah, Lionel'll say, no, get a sword. Oh, and Malchior did the perfect frame perfect clip to get up in top of the cave and then walk down the stairs backwards into the cave. So here's the interesting piece of this. Malchior, with that little bit of extra knowledge of 3, I would not actually be terribly surprised if Malchior just heads straight back there. Once he gets a red candle, because he knows he can clear the enemies in that dungeon with a red candle.
Yeah, it's a good point. There's a fair amount of information just by knowing what the enemy set is like that can help with some of that decision making, as whether it's worth checking out a dungeon early or not.
And also an interesting thing to keep in mind is that extends not just to whether it's worth it to dig a dungeon early, but whether it's worth it to dig a dungeon at all. Because if you find, okay, well, I have like in this case, you have the Triforce out of level 1, so you can relatively quickly get to it, and it does have 2 items, but it's a Wizrobe set. So you might say, okay, well, I started with this Triforce, I'm just going to go. Or if you find a Triforce like 2 rooms into a level 8, so versus a level 2, you know. Caffy has bought a bunch of bombs. Malchior does not have health.
Caffy bought the bombs and is now going to use the bombs.
Malchior may buy another bomb pack here at this bomb shop just because it's nearby and he's only down to 2. But yeah, with 64, 25, and 11 for the money, money's going to be pretty tight. So that's
going to say, it's tempting to buy those bombs early on, and I totally think it's a strong decision by both of our runners, but it definitely opens you up to the possibility of being tight on money later when you're looking for keys or arrows or, if we're lucky, bait.
And that's where this kind of gets interesting, is we might see the runners elect to respawn because at this point we're pretty certain Pulse Voice are going to be in the dungeons. If they find a Pulse Voice room really close to the start of a dungeon and they have the bow and arrows, it may actually be worth it to farm that room a little bit, because Pulse Voice often drop rupees, and 1 arrow can kill like 5 Pulse Voice if they line up correctly.
Meanwhile, we're watching our runners screen for screen. Oh, we were watching our runners screen for screen.
Yeah, Malchior has not been to Death Armos yet, so I expect he's going to do the loop to get there. Caffy will find the blue candle. And Malchior is done with being on beach strats. Malchior headed up to Death Armos. This will show him where the red candle is. If it can be picked up on 4 hearts, that is good news for him, as he will not need to worry about a candle at that point. He may not even see the blue candle. He may just leave. It is very possible to have that happen in these seeds because of the red candle being available as the white sword cave item. If you find the red candle early enough like this and can pick it up on 4 hearts like that,
go.
Malchior may never see the blue candle game unless he's just exploring anyway, and he is headed right back to 3.
Meanwhile, Caffy found level 6 in the, I think in the southwest corner.
This was indeed in the southwest corner. This is a Triforce they do not have. Looks like Malchior is going to do a little bit of burning near start before headed back to 3. Not a bad idea. Might find another level that's a little bit easier to get into. Might even just find another heart container to give you some more health going up to that. Could find a letter. Malchior is going to elect to pick that up, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and do some overworld exploration instead of heading back into 3 at this time.
So it's an interesting question for the race is going to be how long it takes Caffy to get back to that red candle.
I don't imagine Caffy's going to go back until he has at least 5 hearts. Going on 4 hearts because of where it is, it does feel like a bit of a gamble to go back to it because it is a it's not a large time investment, but it's not insignificant either. Especially if you're wrong, the opportunity cost becomes pretty high because then you have to make that time investment again. Whereas on 5 hearts, it feels a lot safer because then you're 2 and 3 to pick it up, and at that point, at least I'm personally willing to take that risk. I don't know what Caffy's risk-taking willingness is. He may decide to just wait until he has 6. which is the level he's in, and Malchior is in 5, which is the number of hearts that I figure Caffy may go back for. So there's your math starting up. Oh, hi, Gainon's room.
Ooh.
I think Ganon would be an easier enemy to fight.
Yeah, the head of that blue Lanmo was not having any of that, as Caffy's able to candle boost through the Gibdo and pick up the key, which is the last resource he wanted to get from level 6 before continuing on with his exploration.
Well, getting keys early is not an insignificant factor, as you can see here, Malchior has to spend a key to get through that door to the left, although there may be a way around. Malchior's going to elect not to kill the dig... Oh, that's fun. You either need a key or a ladder. Arrow shop and key shop for Caffy. That looks like a very tempting shop. The arrows and the key are both very cheap.
Cheap, to go with the low money in the seed.
Yeah. Malchior's going to continue along the south coast and hear what you're supposed to say to a scared Goron. Caffy will find level 9. Gonna walk in. Now, there are 2 reasons that you will see a runner do this. One is to get a sense of what directions they can go from the start of 9. That may give them indications as to potential Zelda locations, potential holes in the map, or just how kind of weird 9 is going to be. And also listening to hear if Ganon is directly adjacent to start. Because if Ganon is directly adjacent, then you will hear that.
Another cheap key, cheap arrow shop up in the grave.
Malchior is presumably going to elect to buy some bombs here. And I don't think these bomb purchases are necessarily bad, although I do think I would like to see, now that Malchior does have a red candle, I think I'd like to see him start doing more bomb forces so that he stops having to spend the money on bombs. It does take a little bit longer to get your forces built up, but it does save you the 25 rupees per force, which may or may not be worth it depending on what purchasing strategy you feel like going for. Like, with this money, I would absolutely not under any circumstances consider a blue ring.
Malchior has been pretty aggressively making use of save retry, so I think while he's buying a lot of bombs, he's also conserving them through that, and he's going to go back into level 3 now and use that red candle to burn some of those ropes and other enemies. And I suspect, if he doesn't find anything valuable, he'll probably just retry and get those 8 bombs back.
And Caffy has found the Pepto Pink level 8. Going to elect not to do anything with it at this time. Can't say I blame him. Without a permanent weapon, 8 is a large gamble. Oh, that's cute.
Caffy does have a shot. I think he might check the Forgotten Spot. He might go back to check Death Armos.
He's going to go back to check. And this, I think, makes sense because it's kind of on the way. So now the opportunity cost of coming here is very small, and he's going to be pleasantly rewarded for his choice.
Caffy will start with some of the exploration of the forest that we've seen Malchior do.
Now remember, Caffy has not entered any of these levels that they have the Triforces for yet, so he does not have the information about level 3's enemy set. But he does crucially have a key, so if Caffy elects to dig this level 3, he will be able to go south here more easily than Malchior will. And the reason I say more easily is Malchior is going to try to set up a Kanana key, which is where you take advantage of the fact that while the shutter doors are opening, all of the doors in the room are considered open. And you can walk through key doors, but you can't do it in this room because you have to push the block.
Rude game.
Rude, second quest 5 room. Thankfully, there's a key right here. Caffy will now elect to go into level 1. See if Caffy decides to stick around a little bit longer than Malchior did. Can kill the gorillas with the red candle. Also, the keys rolled 2 HP. Heart container for Mal. Not a bad thing to find when you're on 1 heart. And this looks like it's going to be the item.
And that is a great item for Malchior to find, which will take away one of the blocks through his dungeon exploration. Meanwhile, Caffy finds a power bracelet sitting on the floor in the triple segment level 1.
Yeah, this is a very interesting turn of events now. Because Malchior probably will not elect to go back to level 1 for a bit because it is a Wizard set. So if that power bracelet ends up being required, that is very good news for Caffy. But by the same token, if the ladder is required, which Malchior's headed straight back to level 5. Oh, and just a wooden boomerang is the other item. It's not a bad item to pick up because it does allow easier bomb forcing, but it's not really what you want to see as a runner.
I'll also say, given that it was a triple segmented level, Caffy's got to be pleased to find the item in the first staircase that he checked, rather than being forced to check all sorts of staircases.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you're Caffy, you're perfectly fine with the knowledge that boomerang is in 1. Cannot get around the key door for Malchior, and cannot get through that room without a wand or a bow. Note that while it's not particularly relevant in that room because it's all pulse voice, generally speaking, the game will not assume that you're going to respawn the room. So if you have a mixed room, like a Pulse Void, 2 Dark Nuts, 2 Like Likes, and whatever, the game assumes you can do that entire room in one fell swoop. So if you find a bow or a wand underneath that room, you know the other is not going to be Pulse Voice blocked. And a book for Malchior.
Love finding the book early on in one of these seeds. Can speed the exploration of these levels tremendously to have the maps.
And Caffy is now in level 3. Gonna grab the Triforce for the health refill. Don't blame him.
Imagine having seen the enemies, he'll go back in and keep poking for that item.
Yeah, if you know level 3 is a good enemy set, you don't really have a... Unless you're key blocked or you know you're blocked by something else, you don't really have a good reason not to. And oh, the Virus don't die.
There goes one of your bomb opportunities in the dungeons.
And especially if Fires are in tandem with Rizrobes, that's really bad. Although we've seen that the Wizards and Gurias work in tandem with each other. Caffy is going to find the transport. Now, Caffy may spend a little bit longer in this level 3 than Malchior did, just by sheer virtue of he can go through that door to the south.
I gotta guess he's gonna hesitate to spend the key, though, so probably go east first.
Right, I forgot he had spent a couple of keys earlier. I thought he was still on 3. So you can see like what Malchior is doing here, where he's going into the stair and then coming back out of it to respawn the room. The game's logic does not take this into account. So that shutter door, by the game's logic, is either wand or bow blocked.
It's good to know. I did not know that.
Yeah, I learned that during the first ABNS tourney, and it ended up leading me to take a win in that tourney because of it. Ladder for Caffy after a beautiful block clip. And Malchior is going to elect not to go for the Triforce immediately, probably looking for an additional key. Or maybe a bomb pack, which makes sense to me. You got one
enemy
room.
set's been pretty easy in 5, so at least why not poke 1 or 2 rooms and see if you can pick some useful resources like that.
There's a key. So right now, advantage... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, nothing here.
So right now, advantage is Caffy on information, Malchior on Triforce count, Caffy with the information that he doesn't have to that he's gotten both items out of 1. So if Malchior's looking for bow or silvers, he'll have to go back there. Malchior by Triforce count because he's gotten the Triforce out of 5 and has the book, which is not insignificant. What will really tell the tale, though, is if we find a power bracelet block dungeon, then it is large advantage Caffy.
Which begs the question, and I know different runners feel differently about this. If you get the power bracelet early, Alsoa, how quickly are you prioritizing checking those power bracelet spots?
So I think I will move my route around the power bracelet spots. Like we saw Caffy head to the power bracelet spot there. Also, Malchior is in level 2. But unless I'm on very few overworld locations, I'm not necessarily going to beeline them. Like here, yeah, I'd route on the power bracelet spot with this general northeast check.
Right.
Raft spots are a little bit different because one of them is just so far out of the way. Gaffy's going to elect for a potion. This is actually pretty commonly seen both in Swordless and a little less common in Sorted. Normally you save your potion for the last Awakening Cave. But because your magical sword is just replaced by a 2-bomb upgrade, combined with Dungeon Hearts not being thrown at you because they're not in the Heart Shuffle, you're generally not going to have a whole lot of opportunity to pick up that magical sword bomb upgrade. So you're better off just getting enough hearts for the white sword and then getting a potion, because the additional hearts may or may not be of much help to you.
One of our small big secrets is under the second power bracelet check.
Malchior missed that bomb.
This is not a fun room that Malchior is dancing around in right now.
Yeah, I don't think I'd try to clear this. Knowing that the game isn't expecting me to clear it, I don't think I'd try to clear that. Like, there are times where I'll do the enemy respawns, but that particular room setup, you're maybe going to get 1 or 2 respawns per room because of the Zal.
Right.
So it's kind of a tough sell to try to clear this out via respawns.
But obviously, now that you said that, Malchior will finish clearing it and it'll have the wand. Malchior is going to bomb out of this mugger room.
Terribly sorry about that. I had a phone call come in.
I don't think he missed anything. Malchior cleared out a room full of pancakes and was rewarded with absolutely nothing.
I saw that Malchior has exactly enough money to pay the mugger room, even though he doesn't need to.
Caffy's found level 5 and a nice block clip onto the statue there, where he's going to be able to safely take care of these blue lambos.
You know, fun fact, Ganon's room is the only room where you can actually show off the statue clip, because the rest of them, they will, even if you clip onto one, the other will still fire at you. Malchior's carefully trying to navigate this room. There is a compass inside of the Gibdo, but pretty much anything in this room besides the Stalfos will kill him in one hit. But he has to be careful. Does get through.
Well done.
And you can see Caffy's now going in and out of level 5, at least a little bit, to try to get some more bombs. Malchior's going to elect to leave level 2, presumably just blocked by combat. I do see on the tracker he picked up a magic boomerang.
We got the wooden boomerang in level 1, magic boomerang in level 2.
Yep. Caffy is now going to continue exploring 5. Presumably, we'll end up finding the book in here. Malchior is going to elect to pick up a heart, bringing him up to 8. Not a terrible idea. So I think I also would have picked up the heart there because I believe Malchior still has one taken cave left, and he also picked up the letter, which signals he may be a little bit more willing to just buy potions than not. Cappy getting the unfortunate news you cannot kill the fires with a bomb. And sadly, it was on his last bomb too, so now he's out of bombs completely.
That's pointing out as well that Malchior left level 2 because the Triforce was blocked by the bunnies, and so he's going to need to come back with either the wand or the bow and arrows to grab that Triforce, which unfortunately means we can't have both the bow and the wand in level 9.
Right. We can still have wand and silvers, or we can still have bow and silvers though. Just one of those two has to be outside. And you can see Caffy is also doing the reset. I believe this book and this Triforce and 5 are logically available just by using a couple of keys. But given that the one of the Wanderer Bow is available before this point, no matter what, you will be able to logically get to this Triforce and this item. Malchior's back, headed up towards Death Mountain, presumably to check more than just levels 1 and 3. May go into level 1. Wand outside of 9, bow in 9, blocking silvers in 7 is acceptable, and still allowed. Via logic. But like, at some point, the level 1 is going to start... Level 1 is going to become an issue for Malchior, where he's going to have to either fully block out the idea of digging it or just go dig it. And he may like to dig it soon because he's got enough equipment that digging level 1 now doesn't necessarily feel bad.
Yeah, there's a point at which you have to make a decision, right? Either you're going to do level 1 before there's the opportunity for your opponent to get a big lead from it, or you're going to gamble on it not having something you need and move on with your seed.
Malchior is going to dip a little bit into level 8. Caffy will get a bomb upgrade, but only +2.
Not what you want to see when money is already tight in the seed, although every bomb helps.
Correct. Especially when you got the wizards in the dungeons. It is tough to turn down a bomb upgrade.
It's a nice long and winding path to get to that those rooms under that first E in this level 8.
Yeah, this is a level 8 that I think Malchior is making the right play to go into 8. He knows the enemy set in 1 is Wizrobes, so he doesn't necessarily want to deal with that. He knows that the enemy set in 8 is Tektites and not Wizrobes, so it's a lot quicker to deal with, and he has to dig level 8 anyway.
After he picks up his book in 5.
Malchior has up 8 out of level 8's Old Man Room. And as has been asked in chat, has the PvP been shown to be required yet? We have not seen any blocks yet, but we still have 2 locations unchecked. Caffy takes a death to the Wizrobe, the Beg Dogger, sorry.
I wonder if one of the things keeping Malchior from going back to level 1 is specifically that blue Wizrobe room that he saw going west from the entrance, which could have been an item room. He didn't have the map at the time, so he didn't see that there's a whole bunch of staircases in that level 1, and just the knowledge that one of those potential item rooms is a room that would be really hard to clear out may be discouraging him from going back.
I think that's a fair assessment, and now that he's seen the enemy set in 8 doesn't contain Wizrobes, I think that may very well be his thought process, which is not a bad thought process to have. Like, that's the thing about Zelda 1 Randomizer specifically, is that there are very few strictly wrong decisions to make, because everything is just so situational based on what the seed is giving you and what equipment you have. Like, yes, from the commentary booth, we can say, okay, going to this dungeon is the wrong decision over this dungeon, but if you're in the player's seat, you don't really know that. As far as you know, you're like, yeah, okay, well, I gambled on level 6 and level 8. Let me go to level 6 before level 8 because I know more of it. Speaking of level 8, there's a wand.
That is a pretty good find for Malchior.
That is definitely... That definitely will probably help Malchior, not just with the combat, but also with him thinking, okay, well, I decided to dig 8 over 1, and so far my decision has been right, so I expect he's not gonna have any concerns about second-guessing the decisions he's making for a large portion of this going forward.
Caffy evens the Triforce count for the moment.
So now the question is, will Caffy go into level 8? Malchior is going to elect not to take the transport just yet. Remember that because this level 8 is segmented, there will be 2 sets of transport stairs.
Caffy's going to check the other 2 South Coast spots. And then maybe head west to the power bracelet check?
That seems like a reasonable route to take, and then maybe you double back for the power bracelet check near the ferry. No super room for Malchior here in the corner. Hello, there's a compass for Malchior and a staircase. Third power bracelet check is a dud. And really, that's right now the main difference between the runners is just the amount of time that Caffy spent in level 1 digging out that item. But I do wonder if you're Malchior, do you actually check for the second item in here? Because you don't have that many rooms left. Obviously, the item being here notwithstanding.
I'm of 2 minds. On one hand, you got the recorder, you get back to level 8 pretty easily. On the other hand, the rooms you're still missing are a bit of a walk. And so if you don't do them now and you end up having to do them later, you got to do that walk again.
Right. I don't think it's bad to go check to see if you have like a super room Triforce or it's on the way. Are we missing any dungeons?
I think we have not found level 4 yet.
Yeah, I think 4 is the only missing one. I know 6 was seen by Caffy in the south corner. But you really have to think about it in terms of what is my opportunity cost of being wrong now versus later. And knowing that you have a recorder, it's not necessarily that many rooms to walk back in. It's like 2, 4, 6, like 8 rooms or so to get back up there. Malchior is going to elect to gamble on the second item.
Yep.
What'll be interesting is if Malchior goes back to 1 before 8 if he has to return to a dungeon.
He knows that 8 is a bigger dungeon, but a much easier enemy set. And the wand isn't going to help him with those whiz robes.
And he's already seen a pretty decent chunk of 8. Malchior will find an arrow shop here. We'll see if he decides to purchase. Thinking about it. He elects not to. Yeah. I mean, you don't have a bow, so they're not really going to do anything.
We can always whistle to 8, and it's just a couple rooms from there if he needs it. Ooh, that was a nasty bunny hopping right into Caffy when he turned right in that room.
Yeah, that happens every so often, and by every so often, I mean constantly. Now, at some point, Malchior will have to make his way back to level 2 with the wand in order to get the Triforce out of there, not factoring the possibility of finding bow, level 9 found. I expect if Malchior continues to dig out this Deadwoods, he'll find level 6. Might dig it. And no power bracelet required in this seed.
Not what Caffy wanted to see.
So now where Caffy would pick up an advantage is the knowledge that bow and silvers are not there if there is a 9 gamble, if there's a situation where you're gambling on 9.
Absolutely.
And again, information is very strong in this rando. Like, I would argue information and combat are the 2 most important things for Z1R, with routing and glitch knowledge being a bit below that. Malchior is about to come across level 6 after getting a little payday. Now, the interesting thing will be if the bow is available outside of 9 and the wand is not required for any other rooms, will Caffy actually dig the items out of 8 if he thinks, okay, I'm just going to gamble on wand at 9? Granted, I believe it was kind of on the way to the Triforce. Also, this level 6 map.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this level 6, and it's going to be a lot of fighting bunnies with the wand.
Oh man, imagine if the bow's the other item at 8.
Still could be things like the raft necessary to get to level 4.
Agreed. As the raft is the only overworld block left, seeing as we've seen all the power bracelet spots. Caffy is kind of in the area of 8, so he may elect to go ahead and dig it now. Though having no bombs makes that a little bit sketchy. Reverse seed room with some Gibdos. So Caffy is headed to a bomb shop. Malchior gets the double click to get into the reverse C, and it is the silvers in level 6.
That is a great find without spending a ton of time in level 6.
No, that was right next to the entrance. You just have to be willing to kill the Pulse Voice. Looks like the decision for Caffy is Death Mountain over level 8. Gonna try to find level 4, which is found here. So now, what do we want to see if we're on Team Caffy? The biggest thing we want to see if we're on Team Caffy is bow and 8. That's just hands down the best case scenario for Caffy is that bow is an 8 along with the wand and he digs it. Other possible options are bow and 7, because, you know, 7 hasn't been dug yet, and Caffy may elect to dig 7 before 8. Red Ring would be good, Eddie Key would be good. Malchior gambling on bow in 9, and bow not being in 9, may actually be the best case scenario for Caffy, because then you would find things like you could find a raft and a bomb upgrade at 9 kind of deal.
Caffy finds the staircase to the solo room in level 4.
Decides he wants nothing to do with it. Let's see if our wizards rolled up today. They did not. Excellent. It's always good when they don't roll up.
Keys to boot.
Malchior now in the main body of level 6. Hi, Blue Wizards.
Still plenty of opportunity for this level 6 to force Malchior to visit all of it.
Yeah. An Agoma block here would actually be kind of interesting, and I don't know which runner that would favor. And the reason I say that is it would force Malchior to look for a bow outside of 9, but it also means that if Caffy does get the bow before coming into level 4, he's in much better shape, because he doesn't have level 6, because then he doesn't have to double dip it.
That was a room that Caffy just noped out of in level 4.
He does find the Triforce, although he hasn't seen the item yet to my knowledge, so he may elect to go back in and dig for the item.
The I don't know if that was 6 blue whiz robes, 8 blue whiz robes in that triple bar room. Could have been an item room.
Yes.
But there's more to check before we get to speculate about that room.
And sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, Sam is saying there was a shutter in that room, in which case it could not be an item room.
And for those just joining, the reason that we mentioned that is we have second quest rooms on, which means that just about any room with push blocks in the center row can have a push block for a staircase. Malchior will continue in 6. Caffy will absolutely want to use his bombs on the walls before picking that bomb back up. Like that. It's not a room he cares about. Oh, he's max 10. Right, Caffy bought the bomb upgrade. This is a room of interest to Caffy. Ooh, look at that. Gets away from having to clear blue wish robes. What is in here? It's a bomb upgrade.
He will take, but it is not one of the primary items that Caffy's looking for at this point. He's 45 minutes in. He hasn't yet found the wand, bow, or silvers, so he's probably starting to feel a little bit of pressure to start finding those items.
Absolutely. However, it looks like Caffy is walking back to level 8, which will be good for him, as that will get him at least his wand, if not his wand and something else, if he decides to dig the whole thing. Malchior continuing to build up a nice amount of keys. But not finding a whole lot in terms of path to the Triforce. Kind of hoping it's in this room. Caffy's probably a little bit nervous about that Goma, but you just have to ignore it for now. You can't assume that you're Goma blocked because you see a Goma in a blank room. Caffy does not need that bomb back. Malchior is going to attempt to clear this Patra. And does get it stuck in small phase, but only has 2.5 hearts. Has to be careful. Just a bomb pack for his efforts. Look at that, you can kill wall masters with the boomerang. It's getting more and more likely that the Triforce in this level 6 is either in a blue wizard room, if there's even wizards in here, or up in this upper portion, but I don't think this dungeon has wizards.
Yeah, the enemies I think is all clearable. I just don't think we've gotten to the northern part yet.
Both runners gonna pick up a key. Caffy cannot bomb into there, and oh shoot!
That is tough. Tough place to be dumped. Oh, well done by Malchior.
Gets through it, but not in the best of shape. Now, Caffy's going to see this Triforce here. Here's where this gets interesting if you're Caffy. Do you continue to dig?
I'll give you my thoughts. I think you got it. There's 2 items here. There's still 3 items that you haven't seen that are critical. Pretty good odds that at least one of them is something you want.
And he is leaving. Now, he doesn't know that he has to get over to that little west portion to get to the wand just yet. But he took a different path than Malchior did through the level. It's a key. Okay, he's going to check this left portion, so that's going to get him a wand. We'll see if he's willing to spend his key to go back through as Malchior gets the Triforce out of level 6. Just needs Triforces out of 2 and 4.
He's going to need the bow for level 2, so he's going to be hunting for 4 now.
Not necessarily. You can't kill the Pulse Voice with the
the wand, of course.
Looks like level 2 is where he's headed first. Now, I forget where exactly in level 8 the wand was. But imagine it was pretty close nearby here.
I do think it was right around here. It might be this room.
This is probably it. Now, you're back in level 2. Gonna go ahead and pick up his Triforce here. Has already seen the item. Caffy is gonna pick up his wand. Now it's decision time. Does he continue to dig? This room notwithstanding, because, you know, this room is relatively free to check. Malchior on 8 keys, Caffy on 4, but Malchior on 8 bombs maximum, Caffy on 12. So that could also swing things based on if it's a more key-heavy or more bomb-heavy 9, or neither. It could be neither. And it looks like with this decision, Caffy is going to dig at least a little bit.
Well, the staircase dumped him out nicely in the middle of the set of rooms that he has left to explore, so I think he'll probably stick around at this point, barring something like a Goma.
I mean, that could be a problem. Oh,
and
bait block.
A bait block.
Well, it's only a one-way bait block. Then nothing else down here. So yeah, if you're Caffy, do you go back in? Malchior picks up the Triforce at a level 2, just needs to find level 4.
I think it's probably hard to stomach going all the way back to check the rest of those rooms at this point if you're Caffy.
I guess, but you already kind of have to go up that way to get to the Triforce anyway. I think it depends on how he weighs the opportunity cost of being wrong, checking it now.
Yeah, I gotta think this depends a lot on how Caffy feels he stands in the race.
I have to assume Malchior has checked some of these bomb spots and retried away, because elsewise it doesn't make sense to leave bomb spots near
yeah, I believe he did pretty early on in the seed when he had bought that first bomb pack.
That would make sense. And of course, the other side for Caffy is he's only got a couple of rooms left. It's not like it's a gigantic amount of rooms, and he is going to go look.
He's going to check, so we will find out what this 8 is hiding in its second item.
Again, a bow is the best case scenario. Also, look at the potion prices. You definitely buy 2 blues. Okay, logically, this ladder clip that Caffy is likely going to do is not required, but it's just very helpful. That's a Goma. Now remember, we did see that Goma in that grid room. That could very well be it. But this could also... Nope, this can't be it.
Oh boy.
Another Goma. And you can't bother through. You have to spend the key.
That is... I imagine Caffy has some choice words for this level 8 right about now.
So now, there's one of 2 things that I think has to be going through your head at this point. Either, oh crap, I'm spending a ton of time in a dungeon where the item is potentially Goma blocked, or, okay, there's a ton of Goma blocks. Maybe this is the gamble I make, because my opponent might say, okay, there's a ton of Goma blocks, it's Goma block, just leave. Malchior is now going to head back into level 1. This will be a little bit of time for him. And there's also the X Factor we've forgotten about. Level 7. Now, honestly, if you're Caffy at this point, the only item that you really don't want to see is the raft. Every other item you can at least have some use for. Malchior's continuing to check Death Mountain. Still not going to go into level 1. He has decided level 1 is just not worth the attempt to get through. Second item for Caffy.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Red ring.
Okay.
Not his favorite item to find, but some significant value there nonetheless, especially depending on the enemy sets the rest of the way home.
I don't see how that red ring. I don't see how this red ring is logically Goma blocked, because you don't need a Goma to get through the room to the right of Caffy, do you? If you do, then well, there's that. Also bear in mind, Caffy is still looking for silvers. So, okay, the blue Goma did have a shatter. That is my mistake then. Malchior's just gonna buy a bomb pack to top off. Triforce out of level 8 for Caffy. He just needs to go to 6 and go back into 2. Malchior finds level 4. So let's see where Caffy decides to go from here. I'm going to guess 6.
Yeah, it looks like he's heading towards 6. And that's a good play for Caffy, and we know that it'll, assuming he goes right from the start, it'll yield him his silver arrows.
I imagine he will, just based on the fact that it's less rooms. If you can just do that little hook of 6 and be done, you do the little hook of 6 and be done. Now, Malchior's going to find out the news about the large amount of blue wizards in level 4. We'll see if he elects to try to get the item out of here, assuming he doesn't find it first. Or just leaves the item behind, saying that there's no reason for me to dig this dungeon when I can go to 9.
There's the Triforce room for Malchior.
Just be careful to not accidentally walk into the spike. It's the Triforce. We'll see if he just goes to 9. Now, if I'm in Malchior's position, I might dig 1 before going to 9 just because I would get a little bit nervous about it, but also as I think I would go to 9 here. He is going to go back into 4.
Caffy's fighting the bunny, so he'll be finding his silver arrows in a minute or so.
Yep. Now, we don't know what enemy set 9 is. If 9 is Wizrobes, then that could make this red ring a bit more important. Also, Caffy could very well have a faster level 6 than Malchior did, as Malchior did spend quite a bit of time in here.
The red ring will help Caffy tank through some of these rooms a little quicker. But I think most of it will come down to, does he happen to route into the middle of that clump of rooms a little quicker than Malchior did. Meanwhile, Malchior is going to get the news about the bomb upgrade here.
We'll elect to go ahead and pick it up.
And I'm betting Malchior is going to head off to level 9 now.
Malchior's elected not to up A.
Keep his health.
Perhaps, if he's concerned about not having a red ring. It's not too far from start. Right now, we are looking at a 66% chance of Bo being in 9. There is the possibility that it is in 7. Let's see what Malchior decides to do. Malchior's headed back to the level 2 area. This could be Malchior going back to level 1.
I think it is.
And it has been pointed out in chat, Malchior may not have seen level 9 yet. So now Malchior's headed back to 1.
I'm pretty sure Malchior did see level 9, because he got the Take Any at Recorder Lake, and level 9 is just southwest of there.
This room is not going to be the easiest for Malchior, and he's going to be horrendously disappointed when this doesn't push.
And this is that room that Malchior saw really early in the seed, and I bet has been just stuck in his head since then as a possible item room.
And it's a transport stair. Ah.
He did a really great job of clearing those Wizrobes out, though. It didn't actually take that long, although it did take a bunch of bombs.
Oh, absolutely. Caffy has found an end of the transport stair on level 6.
He's actually pretty close. I think he might just be 1 or 2 rooms away from the Triforce.
Yeah, he's not far. And Malchior finds the transport to the other room.
Oh, man.
So Malchior's going to spend a little bit longer in 1, and may have to buy bombs before going into 9 as well. Caffy's going to go up a little bit in 6. Hopefully he does not head up into that head portion. Compass would do him a lot of good. Malchior does get a bomb pack. And it looks like he's going to try to set up a force here. But that will put him past the amount he needs. Because the boomerang used to point-blank range is 7 hits.
That'll put him at 9 with those 3 candle blasts.
And getting turned around in that room for Caffy is actually very good for him, as I believe this was the Triforce room. Yep, there it is. Power Bracelet for Malchior. He knows he doesn't need it. So, Caffy's not actually as far behind as it may appear.
I think at this point, this is actually really close.
Yeah, because Malchior coming into level 1, that really was the gap between the two. But Malchior's going in tonight on a 50-50 of bow. Caffy's going in on a 66% gamble. Malchior will get into level 9 first, though, as Caffy does have to go back to 2 and kill off the Pulse Voice. And as is being pointed out, Caffy does have the red ring, which is not an insignificant factor, especially if 9 is a Wizrobe dungeon. So, hold on to your hats, folks. This race is not anywhere near over yet. Now, Caffy does not know that the Triforce is in the bottom portion, so he's going to have to clear a little bit more, too.
Malchior's going to visit the Fairy Fountain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Without the red ring, and then he's going to dive into 9.
There's no real reason not to get the heal before you go in. So, Potato Pony, what are we looking/listening for in level 9?
So, level 9, we're going to be listening for any room where we can hear the roar of Ganon, because if Malchior is 1 room north, south, east, or west from Ganon, he will hear the roar of Ganon. That'll tell him that he's right next to Ganon, even if that's not the route to him. He'll also be looking for a room with a single shutter door that doesn't clear even after the enemies are all defeated in the room. And that shutter door will be the path to Princess Zelda. And then, given where we're at in this race, he's also going to be checking as many staircases as he can, because, of course, he is still looking for the bow, which he will need to defeat Ganon.
And we do get a transport that takes us up to this little, 4-room segment of 9 that I was really hoping Ganon would be in, and you just have to take some stupidly complicated path to get here because you can't hear him from anywhere else if he's up here.
We still got the hope that Ganon could be in that little solitary room in the blank column on the right.
Well, we have a Zelda found up in the corner, so that's good enough. Caffy gets the Triforce. I did not catch what time Malchior entered level 9, but I want to say it was about 1:02:30.
Yeah, I think it was a little after 102, so Caffy's going to be pretty hot on Malchior's heels.
I think we can call this about... Oh, gets Wall Mastered! Although that may not be the most terrible thing in the world. He may have been wanting to do that anyway.
Yeah, gets back to start, keeps his hearts.
Caffy's making the gamble on 7. Or at least poking his head in the room. Looks like he's not making the gamble on 7. He just wanted to see how big it was.
Fake gamble, fake gamble.
I bet you if 7 was tiny, he would have dug it.
It probably means that Caffy feels behind right now.
Yeah, with how late he got the wand, that's not too terribly surprising. So again, Malchior is on a 50% chance that the bow is in here. Caffy is coming in on a 66% chance. Malchior is going to elect not to take that stair at this time.
The enemy set does not appear too bad.
No, there's no wish robes. There's none of that. So
that's going to neutralize a lot of that red ring advantage that Caffy might have had otherwise.
Unless we have to go to 7. Then all bad because we have absolutely no idea what's in 7. But like we just now saw the first room of it. Caffy's gonna get the knowledge of Zelda's location, and yeah, about a minute or so difference between the runners. Not bad. Certainly close enough that a single decision to 9 can swing the race. Hi, Patra.
Did the Patras ever say hi back to you, Elsa?
Both runners on 6 keys. Malchior gonna take down the Patrites. Gets rid of the Patra itself as well. And let's see what we get. We have an item, it's the raft. Oh boy.
Now if you're Malchior, you've got the item in 7, you've got an item in 8, and you got one more item in 9.
And Caffy's in a room that Malchior hasn't been to yet, but it does not push. And Caffy can safely up an A because of that red ring. It's going to give him more health to work with. But yeah, this is a tough spot to be in if you're Malchior, because now you are on a 33% chance that this is going to be your bow.
2 corridor staircases, and it's the any key for Malchior in the far top right. So good news for Malchior is he found both items pretty quickly. Bad news for Malchior is he going to do level 8 or level 7?
Now bear in mind, Caffy's not too far behind, and Caffy knows he has to go to level 7. Malchior is headed to 8. But Caffy is going to take an additional stair here in 9. We'll see where this spits him out. Oh, it spits him out one room above. That is perfect. That is exactly what Caffy needed to see. Okay, so now, all of that time that Malchior had ahead, he will give back to Caffy, but if you're Malchior, this is not a dig that feels good, because you know you could have gone and just knocked this out very quickly while you were in here initially.
And I think one of the questions we're going to face now is, does Malchior get caught in either that one-way bait trap or the shuttered-in Goma room?
Because if he does not, that could easily put both of the runners in level 7 at the same time. Now, I do wonder if Caffy bails on one item. Because 7 keys is not a... Caffy is not going to pick up the raft. 7 keys is not necessarily an insignificant number, but it is probably enough to get through level 7. Although Caffy is near the second item, he just has to be willing to go through the key door.
And the 2 items were basically right next to each other.
I expect Caffy will go through the key door here. Yep. Why would you leave these 2 items? Malchior is back in the transport stair that goes to the hook of level 8. Decides he is not going to take it, but both runners could very well be in 7 at the same time! As Caffy is going to pick up the Manny Key. Caffy is going to pick up the Any Key.
And to our knowledge, neither runner heard or found Ganon?
No, I don't think so. Now, this is an interesting door for Malchior. Malchior's going to see this Goma.
Don't do it. Oh,
he's going to do it. Now.
You gotta do it. I mean, it's the right decision. It's just unfortunate.
Here's the catch if you're Mal. If you go back to that, if you go back and you see that there is a T room and you see that the top portion of 8 is Goma blocked, do you say, okay, well, I'm just going to go through the transport and hope I can get around, or do you say, this is probably Goma blocked, I'm going to 7?
He knows where the transport is, though, which I think is what might keep him in 8.
Right. Caffy is now ahead coming into this level 7. Redbird Grad's favorite level, as some say. Caffy's now in a position to definitely take a win here. However, we still need to find Ganon. And if Malchior can find Ganon first, that may not matter. And the bow is right at the front of 7. Malchior's window is closing extremely quickly.
This has been a bit of a whiplash turn of events the past couple of minutes here.
Malchior is going to elect to go north here. We'll find the red ring. I think both runners are going to be kicking themselves after this. Caffy for not just jumping into 7 while he was thinking about it, and Malchior for leaving behind the items in 1 and 8, because that's really been the 2 big difference makers. Especially Mal leaving the second item behind in 8 and now having to go back for it.
So assuming that Malchior also finds the bow pretty quickly in 7, the big question here is, assuming that he hasn't heard him already, how quickly can Caffy find Ganon?
Well, Caffy has a pretty good idea of where Ganon is going to be just relationally in 9 because of where he's been to. He's got a pretty good idea that Ganon's going to be somewhere in the southeast portion of the level. So that's going to help Caffy out. Malchior will have that same knowledge. Malchior is headed pretty much right the same way that Caffy did, right towards that bow. Caffy does take a death in level 9. Did have a potion in hand, probably just forgot about it. Malchior now got to work his way through this 7 to get to the bow. I don't think either runner has heard Ganon, because if they did, they would be beelining directly for that location. And Malchior's gonna find another old man.
Zelda's room. That's not gonna help.
That does tell you that you have to take a stair to get into that southeast, or go back through one of the other stairs you'd seen. Malchior's still working on finding the bow in 7. Caffy gonna do a quick check. Make sure Ganon's not there. I don't recall where this bow was in level 7, but I recall it wasn't too deep in. I want to say it was a 5x2 room. And Caffy hears Ganon. Oh, this is bad news for Malchior. He's got to find this bow, get back to 9, and take that stair quick. Or else his window of opportunity will have closed, and Caffy will take this in a little bit of a come-from-behind victory.
Alright, this door to the left's gonna lead to Ganon for Caffy.
He knows how to get to Zelda. Malchior's got to put the pedal to the metal, and even then it may not be enough. Finds the transport stair in level 7. Caffy does have a potion.
3 hits on Ganon. There's a 4th. 5th, 6th.
Gonna go ahead and potion here. Very good decision. The last thing you want to do is die on Ganon when you know your opponent can finish at any given moment. Final hit to Ganon. Ganon will go down. And the immediate up A right back to Zelda's room.
A short path back to Zelda for Caffy, who's going to end up taking this race and moving to 1-1 in the Swiss rounds of the Summer Swordless Tournament.
And honestly, the crucial difference between the two runners in this race was that second item in 8. If Malchior digs that second item in 8, okay, he might be a little bit even or slightly behind going into 9, but he's in 7 at the same time as Caffy at that point.
Well, if Caffy's interested in talking with us, we can ask him about it. But I gotta think that Caffy felt he was behind then, and that's the main reason. Caffy effectively had 3 chances to nope out of that 8. Right? He found the first item and the Triforce, and GG's to Caffy, finishing with a time of I don't know, what is his time? 1:14 and change.
1:14.12 according to the race room.
Thank you. Caffy could have noped out after finding the Triforce, finding the first item, getting blocked in by the bait, getting blocked in by the Goma, but he persevered, and finding that red ring the first time through was the difference in the end.
And again, it's not necessarily because of like any combat issues that were had, because neither runner really had any combat issues, but it was the knowledge of, okay, now that I know the bow's not a 9, I know it's in 7. That's the key point of that red ring, not necessarily the combat one way or the other, because let's be real, both of these runners could have beaten the seed without a red ring, no problem.
Absolutely.
Malchior still hunting for this bow. Having a little bit of a tougher time than Caffy did finding it. Gonna go back through the transport. I think he's realized he's got a couple rooms left near start to check. And we are joined by Caffy here in the booth. GG's and congratulations on the win. Malchior now sees that wall does not bomb. He's going to take a save here. Probably going to go buy bombs.
Yep. Bombs due south of start.
Just a little bit of a... It's interesting that, like, where the cutoff limit is for runners being willing to buy bombs versus not. Because on paper, 25 looks a little bit expensive with the low money in the seed, but, you know.
Turned out we didn't need to buy wood arrows, didn't need to buy too many keys, so the money got us through it.
Malchior back to 7. Give us one quick second. I believe Discord is being Discord.
Sorry, can you hear me?
We can now.
Sorry about that.
GG's,
Thank you for the
Caffy.
GGs. Appreciate it.
So, Caffy, we'd love to hear a little bit about your experience in level 8 and whether you considered at any point not sticking around to find that second item.
I had pod committed myself really hard in that dungeon. It's the route that I took. Only had less than 10 rooms left. And then running into a Goma block and other things, that felt really bad. I felt really behind, especially after that.
So Malchior had been in level 8, I want to say a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you were in level 8. Found the wands, found the Triforce, and decided to move on, which made a lot of sense at the time, given the recorder, given the dungeons he still had left. And in the end, you sticking around in 8 was probably the difference in the match, because it gave you the information to once you found the 2 items in 9 to head straight to 7 and find the bow.
Yeah, both of you had found the items in 9 at about the same time. I think there was like a 30 to 45 second separation. But Malchior had gone back to level 8 instead of going to 7 first. The other piece was that even though you had gotten the wand and such later, Malchior did go back to level 1 before going into 9, which is what helped close that gap to start with.
I imagine. Did he leave both items in 1?
He saw that 5 blue wizrobes stair room early in 1, and just left it until the very end.
I see.
At which point he knew he didn't need the power bracelet, and already had the magic boomerang, making the wooden boomerang kind of a moot point. And he's now going to get his bow out of level 7, as he ended up taking a different path, and in the end, full cleared the level 7.
Yeah, my path in 7 was very fortunate. Otherwise, I would be in here for probably another 5 minutes looking for this bow.
And Mal still needs to find Ganon. Neither of you had found Ganon when you left.
I had an inkling that he was beyond that Patra, just to the right. That's why I died to the Patra the first time. I wanted to clear him, but I fought him poorly.
Yeah, we were kind of noting that based on your guys' routing, we figure you probably had an idea that he was generally somewhere in the southeast, just from not having heard him while exploring in the upper north and west sections.
Yeah, I think it was either that or directly in the center. I don't think I hit the heart of the dungeon too much.
So Malchior went up a little bit in the Lost Woods, forgetting that the Lost Woods exist. It happens. But yeah, the choice to keep digging 8 was what ended up being the difference. And again, it was not from necessarily the Red Ring itself, because I imagine both of you could have done this seed without the Red Ring, no problem, but just that knowledge.
Yeah, and with such few rooms that I had left, I did not want to leave it behind.
Well, Malchior is going to take a little bit of a different path to Ganon. So, in spite of it being a low money seed, there weren't really any points where it looked like either of you guys were struggling for money.
Yeah, bombs were just over the median, so it wasn't too bad. Buying arrows felt bad considering I didn't get the bow until last. But I think it seems like a standard play, I think.
Now, Caffy, I'm guessing that you must have been a little bit disappointed after finding that power bracelet in 1 pretty early on, when all of the power bracelet spots turned out to be unnecessary.
Yeah, it does feel bad when you get access to 1 early and those 2 items don't end up working out for you. I did feel good about 3.
Wait, I thought the ladder was required, though. Was it not?
I don't recall. Getting ladder early just kind of makes you overlook what is ladder blocked, what isn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe level 6 was. I can't remember.
Definitely made use of it in level 8 with that tea room, but I don't. There must have been a way around it.
Yeah, it could have been the logical way around it was to get the bow out of 7. Because silvers can be blocked by Gomas, but not bows themselves. Because if the bow is blocked by a Goma, well, we'd have some problems.
Yeah, I almost considered bailing on 8 because I saw that grid room with the orange Goma. That kind of put the thought in my head, ooh, whatever's in here might be bow block.
You saw that room. You saw the one-way bait block. You got shuttered in with a Goma. So there were a lot of chances to change your mind about sticking it out, but in the end, you were able to find that red ring, which ended up the information helped a lot.
Malchior finds another stair. This may take him closer towards where Ganon is. It is not.
I think Malchior's done most of the west side and northeast side, so I think he's probably knows at this point that Ganon is somewhere in the southeast, and it's a question of how to get over there.
He's really concerned about that, those 3 rooms beyond the old man on the left.
Yeah, the little surrounding that blank room.
Mm-hmm. I think he's just gonna go check to see if he can hear Ganon from that area. So, Caffy, you move on to being 1-1.
Yeah, scary pull in that 1-in-1 category.
I think you can say that about all the categories, but the 1-1 seem... It's weird how the 1-1 seems to be, like, almost no different than... Well, really any of them. But especially, like, almost no different from the 2-0 in terms of how scary it is.
Absolutely. The field's so stacked, I mean, any given week is going to hand you a loss, or could potentially hand you a loss, so... Just feel fortunate that I was able to at least get into the 1-in-1 category.
And Malchior is gonna try to bomb right, just like Caffy did now, and probably check that door up north, and then maybe decide to fight the Patra first.
I think it makes sense to fight the Patra first, because you're going to want to exit and re-enter the room anyway to hear Ganon. Or not.
Great place for Zelda's Dream, by the way. Oh.
He's leaving. He says, okay, that Patra's... Either the Patra's not worth it, or he wanted it, like, half a heart back.
He needs to take that Patra stair, I think. Unless this goes somewhere.
There might be 2 ways to get there, because I want to say there was a T room that he went through to get to Ganon. So there might be another path around.
That gets Malchior to the rest of the little nub on the left here.
Well, this will put Malchior's mind at ease that Ganon is not in this random stupid corner behind a magic stair. And that's about all it's going to do. Malchior headed back to the north portion. He may head back over to that right side where the magical key was found and try to find a way to Ganon from there. Oh, he never took this stair. Well, this will be fun for him to see. Yeah, he just goes right back. There's a way for him to go down, so this may lead to Ganon just by virtue of going a different way to him. Question is, will Mel see every single room at 9? There's the map.
I think this is it's onto the path now.
And the compass to boot. It's gonna go down here, and yep, there's Ganon. Malchior also has a potion. May elect a potion first. Will do so. Malchior should be done within the next minute or two here.
Malchior gets the stun lock in the bottom left corner and takes Ganon down quickly. And he'll up an A and go save the princess.
Overall, a well-run race by both racers. Just, you know, a little bit of the luck of the draw, a little bit of decision-making, and just... that's about it. I mean, I don't think Malchior made any really wrong decisions. Again, just he made those gambles, and the gambles didn't pay off.
I continue to think that in some ways Malchior ended up worse off because he was a little bit in the lead the first 30, 40 minutes.
The door opens. Everyone, please get your GGs in chat for Malchior, finishing with an official time of blowing up Zelda. Also, 1:29:31. We are now joined in the booth by Malchior. GGs.
Whoa, just a sec. I don't have my audio set right. Fix this stuff. There we go. That's better, hopefully.
One way to find out.
Yeah.
There you go.
GG's,
They
Malchior.
call Mr. Full Clear.
Really, probably the biggest difference was Caffy had dug the red ring out of 8 on his first trip in.
Okay, cool. How early did he have wand? Because that was an easy wand.
You had wand before he did by about, I think, 10 to 15 minutes.
Gosh,
Yeah.
dang it.
Yeah, that's what we think. We actually think that you were Caffy found the red candle first, but you grabbed the red candle first, and then you found the wand not too long after that. And it took Caffy a little bit to get back to level 8, but
I
a lot of
thought
ways
I was behind.
in a lot of ways we think that because you got that wand quickly and noped out of 8, that ended up being your undoing when it came when you found the 2 items in 9 and it came time to search for the bow.
Because the both of you got the 2 items out of 9 at roughly the same time. Just Caffy
crap.
knew that the bow was going to be in 7 at that point.
Okay, well, it didn't seem like it took long for me to get the other item out of 8. I mean, I got locked in the Goma room, so I had to walk it again, but...
Right. It's just the amount of time it took you to get the other item out of 8 was about how long it took Caffy to get the bow out of 7.
Yeah,
How
but Caffy also had a
quick
much
did you
quicker
won?
7 than you did in the end. But by
Yeah,
that
my
time,
7 was trash. Hot Garbo.
I think by that point, the race had swung from Caffy maybe being a minute or so behind to being, until 7 did its thing to you, to being a minute or so ahead.
Nice, yeah. I wanted the silvers behind those wizards in 1, and then I saw, because I had the book, all the segments, I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be, yup, yes it is.
Malchior, you took the recorder and poked your head into 1 and 3 really early on, and you went left in that 1 and saw that blue wizrobe room with the single push block, and I was thinking the whole time that was probably stuck in your head as a potential item room the rest of the seed until you finally went back there.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. And I knew wizards are in 1. Until I can have improved bond capacity, I am not searching 1.
And then it was a lovely triple segmented 1 to reward you for your memory.
Thanks a lot, game. Just put silvers in that 1 location and I'm good to go.
Yeah. Because who's going to dig a blue wizard room until they have to?
Man
Good
alive.
news, Malchior, is that 2 in the Swiss, you get to face some great matchups like Crystal Saber. So
No, are you? I didn't even know the outcome of last night's matchup. I don't care. I'll go watch it back. There's still people like Saber in the O2s.
Yep.
I'm dead, y'all.
it's quite the stack bracket.
Yeah, there is no safe pool.
Dead.
Actually, no. The only safe
Yeah,
pool is like not being in the tournament. That's the safe pool from getting a tough matchup in the tournament is to not be in it.
My overworld felt like it took too long, but overall I was happy with my combat. Only 2 deaths on a swordless. True, you never really had to fight the wizards, but I'll take it.
Yeah, y'all's combat was perfectly fine. Like that's why the Red Ring was more impactful from the information than the combat standpoint, because neither of y'all were struggling with the combat in the seed.
Yeah, I was particularly impressed by surviving the Landmo assault in the vertical shoot room. I think in 6. That was
That was luck.
Nicely done.
That was luck.
You know what? You could call it luck. I guarantee myself and a lot of other folks would have been incrementing the death counter right there.
Thank
confirm.
y'all for commentating on this. CaffyJD's, my man. Wow.
You too, buddy. Thanks, guys, for the restream commentary. You guys are awesome.
Well, I want to say thank you to the 2 of you for putting on a wonderful race, and our tracker Kamion Renokai for doing the tracking for us and making us look good.
Thanks everybody for coming out and watching the race today. Give a follow to our both of our runners. They're some great Z1R players as well as great guys in general. And give a follow to my commentary partner Alsoa as well as to Kamion for thanks to tracking, and enjoy the rest of the races.
Yes, and real quick, also please do give a follow to Potato Pony, who is also a Z1 runner, also a wonderful person, and so on and so forth. Because I ran out of words.
Next time we do this, Alsoa, we're going to tell the joke about the time a bird, a potato, and a pony walked into a bar.
Wait, what? So I do believe we have another race coming up later on tonight. I'm not quite sure where that's at, but I want to say it will be on one of the channels here. I'd have to verify that.
Yeah, I think it's a vodcast they had to do because King Doll and Slamu, their times didn't line up well. And so they're just going to restream the VODs that each of those submitted officially.
I see. Okay.
I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Z1. What is it? I'm gonna screw it up. It's the
I think it's Z1
the
Randomizer.
Zelda 1 Randomizer channel.
You know, I tell you what, that match, like, you can either vote Team Sweden or beat Slamu, and you get the same message across.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And then right after that, I'm pretty certain they'll be doing the Wheel of Fate for week 3.
Followed by the weekly at 9:30, which will feature the bracket flags for this tournament tonight.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, the bracket flags definitely have a step up in difficulty, but not to the same level as what we may have seen last time we did an ABNS.
Never again shall the Elite 8 of the previous ABNS be mentioned.
I mean, Dave still has his seed that he sends everyone for penance. But I think that is going to do it for us here. Unless the runners have any final thoughts about the seed, the tournament so far, or just whatever makes sense to speak about at this time.
Yeah, just thanks again for everything. Good luck, Malchior, the rest of the way.
Yeah, good luck to you, Caffy. Go take some names. Y'all have a good one. Thanks so much for all your efforts today.